Welcome back, YouTubers, to our TNA Turning Point review with me, Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me who's had a bit of a trim. It's none other than, NJ!
I've lost my hair, but I will still do this. Oh, what's up?
You're teasing a little bit of a British fist there, NJ. Subscribe above, like this video, and comment any thoughts you have on Turning Point, or actually his haircut, in the comment section below.
And so you don't lose your hair, please make sure you subscribe to us in the link in the box below.
If you don't want to lose your hair, just don't watch ROH. That's the best way to prevent yourself from baldness. We go into TNA's Turning Point, the pay-per-view after Bound for Glory, where everything big and all the title changes happened. No title changes tonight, but at least we had someone else on commentary. We had that Todd Kennelly on commentary instead of Mike Tenay leading the commentary, which I felt was a bit refreshing.
I still think it was a bit of a debate, a little bit of a fight going on, all three of them. They all have to try and get their own bit in, try and say this, some say that. Especially there's just two, but they all had their go at saying something for this pay-per-view. Yeah,
it's just better, in my opinion, instead of having Tenay sleep-inducing commentary, to have Kennelly who at least has some kind of enthusiasm for the product. So that was a nice little addition for me. They started off the pay-per-view quite strangely tonight, didn't they? They had that Hurricane Sandy appeal thing where they got everyone to texting. They had that kind of like comedian guy trying to tell jokes and stuff.
Taz, Bubba Ray, and the comedy guy. The thing I did like about this was obviously Taz, okay, he's the right choice for this, okay.
Because he was involved in the hurricane, so.
Okay, that's fine. The comedy guy, yes. Bubba Ray, okay. I'm still not behind this whole Bubba Ray being a face and all this stuff, but this was a nice thing they did for the Americans that went through the hurricane attack, so nice opener.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're actually putting some focus on this. You actually feel like they care, whereas in WWE about breast cancer research, you didn't get the feeling they actually gave a shit because it was more about Linda Sennett than anything else, really.
They had their video packages showing to support it, please do this and this, but TNA did it especially on a pay-per-view where they know people are going to be watching, announcing and stuff. It was good, but I did find it a little bit, not the very best talk for this.
Buckethead, I think his name was. The thing is, there's a guy I like, there's a musician I like called Buckethead, but I'd much rather have seen him doing a guitar solo, but there we go. We opened up the show officially with Samoa Joe versus Magnus. Do you really think it was a good idea to put a no DQ match as the opener? Generally, you try and save those matches for a bit further up the card.
It would have been a good idea to have the bigger matches up the card, but I think for a kick-off, a big entertaining match that's going to be full of action, I think this match definitely did do the crowd just by warming them up.
Yeah, I think my only issue with this match really was this feud. It never really felt like it warranted a no DQ match. This may as well have just been another wrestling match. It would have had exactly the same effect in my opinion. Also, I never ever thought for 1 minute that Magnus was ever going to win.
Well, the fact is, you said that it didn't warrant the no DQ thing. The only reason I would have given the no DQ if Magnus was going to win.
Yes.
But the fact that we've had the same outcome that we've had previously, I didn't really think. Yes, it may give you the thought, Magnus has the chance of winning, but sadly not.
It really didn't, did it? But they showed good familiarity and good chemistry being a tag team. They kicked out of each other's finishers. Joe gets the win by choking out Magnus. You know, the no DQ stipulation was never really used that much, which is a little bit of a shame because I felt these two could have put on a good no DQ match given proper build and stuff, really.
Following Magnus having to cheat his way or run his way out of the last match, I would have gone ballistic on Joe with a steel chair or just something, just so to make it look like a no DQ match, and that Magnus really wanted to win this match because overall, yes, he got some shots in, but it was obviously Joe who got the win the way he was expected to.
Via the choke. And I do think this match would have warranted, it would have been a lot more effective if it was just a wrestling match rather than a no DQ match. I don't think this ever really went as far to be a no DQ match, but that is just my opinion on that one. Tara and Jessie Godderz versus ODB and her mystery partner, which we all knew would be Eric Young. Yay, Eric Young is back. You ready to shoot yourself, NJ? You're going to do it?
Oh, what the hell? This was stupid. Yes, we all knew he was going to come back, but the thing I was hoping for, fingers crossed through the whole match, that Eric Young was going to screw Tara by acting on purpose and end their stupid relationship, end this stupid tag thing they got going on, and just move on. But no, we all knew that in the end that Eric Young was going to get the win for the team. It's stupid.
hopefully this is Eric Young's last appearance, as they can't agree contact terms. But imagine if they put this as the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships match. How funny would that have been? But anyway,
that's really going to get this Jessie, whoever you are, boyfriend over by giving him a women's championship. Yeah,
like it did for EY. Oh god, I just did not care about this match. This is the first match that has warranted a did not care in my star rating system. A new thing I decided to introduce for matches I just don't give a shit about. The next match on the card was the X Division Championship match. I kind of felt this should have opened the card, in all honesty. Rob Van Dam versus Joey Ryan. You know, if any of you guys out there thought that Joey Ryan was going over here, you clearly do not know why we call Rob Van Dam No Job Rob.
Even though the match was the way expected, Ryan did get some offense, which was good, because obviously he still want to make Ryan look good like a wrestler. He's going to go somewhere. But the thing that stood out for this match was the aftermatch. But we'll get there after we've said who won.
Yeah, I mean, RVD essentially wins the match. You kind of expected Rob Van Dam to win the match. No Job Rob is not called that for no reason. And he retains the X Division Championship. Solid match, I thought. Not a brilliant match, but like we said, the aftermath was what it was all about, really, when you had Matt Morgan taking out RVD on the ramp. You do wonder if it's going to lead to Matt Morgan taking on RVD at Final Resolution, possibly?
I still think Morgan should be going against the bigger guys than RVD as the X Division, but it's still a step way upwards. But the Matt Morgan attack was the highlight of this part of the pay-per-view for me.
I hope that Matt Morgan's involvement now in taking out people is actually going to lead to a big push down the line, because like many people, I do think Matt Morgan and his size could offer something to TNA, and they haven't really quite got there yet with Matt Morgan. So I hope that using this slowly, they do build him up to a guy that can be a main eventer, because I think that he is something different in the main event scene for TNA and could really, you know, draw some money for the company, in my opinion.
Should.
We then get to the Aces and Eights stuff. Now, is it me, NJ, or did you feel very underwhelmed by the Aces and Eights pay-per-view matches? It almost got to the point where this big Aces and Ace angle, it's very prominent on the TV show, but at pay-per-views, it's like they can't really do all that much with it. It's almost like that stipulation of Bound for Glory, like I said in the Gorham Show review, has really hindered the Aces and Eights. Really, they have to be involved in matches. And ever since then, the beatdown on Sting was very good, but the Aces and Eights is supposed to be this big angle, and on this pay-per-view, you know, it really didn't seem that prominent.
Well, at the end of the day, now that they're starting to get moving with the Aces and Eights, which is the reveal of them, all they've got really left to do is the beatdowns, which will happen on a frequent basis to get their point across, and the wrestling matches. The first wrestling match of the night is Joseph Parks versus D.O.C.
But the thing about Chaos.
The thing about this match, I felt that it weren't as brutal or as fight from the Ace and Eight side that I was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of expected Luke Gallows Director of Chaos, Luke Gallows, to be more dominant and to actually, especially after that beatdown he beat Sting, you'd expect if he could beat down Sting like that, he should be able to beat Joseph Park pretty quickly. But as much as I could bash on the match, Joseph Park character, dude, even though he's not a wrestler, I find myself wanting to get behind him, and I don't know why, because I'm supposed to be a serious wrestling fan.
The thing about this, the only thing that really put me off is that, yes, at the minute, Joseph Parks is eventually going to come back to be Abyss, I'm thinking, but this Joseph Parks character, he's not a real wrestler at the minute, and he took into it about 11-minute match with D.O.C, Luke Gallows, and I just don't think it went on the right length. It was too long. I was expecting Luke Gallows to actually bring in the weaponry, bring in the beatdown, prove the Ace and Eight are obviously supreme and overpowering wrestler like Joseph Parks. So overall, I was kind of let down by this.
And I think overall, I think this match did go on a little bit too long. You could have made this last a little bit shorter, and it could have been a little bit more effective in my opinion. I did like the bit where Joseph Parks starts bleeding, and all of a sudden, he changes into Abyss and does the black hole slam. I do like that part of Joseph Parks' character, and I do feel it will probably lead to him changing back to Abyss at some point, do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, anyway. Then Bully Ray chases off the Director of Chaos and then raises Parks' hand. Oh, so what?
They had a stare down. Bubba Ray, and Joseph Parks stare down, teasing what they used to have against each other.
Yeah.
But instead, the raise the hand thing. This is making me not like this Bully Ray character a lot more now. Whatever he is now, he's got so many names now. I just don't like his character, but I don't know. I
mean, the face Bully Ray is still pretty entertaining, and at least they're playing off the history here with that. And then we'll move on to the next Aces and Eights match while we're here. This was actually the semi-main event. Like I said, the Aces and Eights stuff on here felt very underwhelming, and this kind of felt like filler. you know, they had a wrestling match, but it was really more about the Aces and Eights coming out at the end, and Angle gets the win on Devon in his first pay-per-view match as a member of the Aces and Eights, and then runs off, and the Aces and Eights can't get Angle, even though, why would they care about getting a pin? Why don't they just go in the ring and attack Angle? You know, they've got the freedom of the Impact Zone. Why does Angle get to run away from 6 or 7 guys, for fuck's sake?
I really think someone's going to be unhappy that Devon let the 8 and 8s down, but the thing about this I'm going to say is, oh my gosh, the 8 and 8s, there's so many of them, they all came in the ring, Angle was down on his own, none of the TNA members came down to help.
No.
They could have beat down Angle. Yes, Angle's your top wrestler, but for Impact, like, you took out Sting, why not take out Angle? Have the 8 and 8s look dominant over big guys. So this match, yes, we didn't really expect Devon to get the pin over Angle, no way, but I expected more 8 and 8s big moments.
I mean, you could have had a DQ finish, so Devon didn't have to lose. You know, it could have been more effective. I don't know, it just seemed like they were down on the Aces and Eights booking tonight, especially when this is supposed to be a massive angle, and I don't really know. I wasn't really too interested in this match, to be honest with you, because it kind of just seemed like filler to me, really. Like I said, the usage of Aces and Eights on pay-per-views right now just doesn't seem like it's very relevant and can be used well.
But we did get told on Thursday we're going to have the update on Sting's brutal attack.
Yes, indeed.
Ace and H, you are unreliable. First we have D.O.C, who could barely beat a worthless mortal like Joseph Parks. And then Devon. I've told you many times you have to step up your game if you're going to be worthy of the Ace and Eights. And tonight, you lost to Kurt Angle, even with the help of the Ace and Eights, which I had to send down to the ring to sort your dirty work out. Gosh, tonight's been a waste of time. On the TNA's Impact show, hopefully you can step up and prove that you're both worthy of the Ace and Eights. Tonight, I'm furious with you both.
So next up we had Kaz and Daniels, the world's tag team champions of I nearly said world's greatest tag team there, NJ. I don't know why. Maybe because they are the world's greatest tag team right now, versus Chavo, Hernandez, Los Stereotypicos for the tag team championships. Gotta love Kaz and Daniels doing Gangnam Style.
And think about these two, as well as being the TNA's best tag team at the moment in time, they can also bring entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
Kaz, I still think he's just filling in places for Daniels, because Daniels is by far the one to watch out for in this. But this match, just like you expect in a tag match, was pretty good spot, pretty good wrestling from both sides. So overall, this match delivered for the pay-per-view.
It was a good match. I did think this was a good exhibition of tag team wrestling here, and plenty of double team stuff in there. Chavo and Hernandez retain as expected, and I think even though Kaz and Daniels are the best tag team, if TNA have decided to make Chavo and Hernandez the spotlight of their tag team division, then they kind of have to make them retain here, as making them lose here would have been very detrimental to their progress.
I do think, because obviously, yes, they could have done this two ways. They could have had Kaz and Daniels win and make this feud continue, and obviously give the belts to probably the better tag team. But now you've given it to the retaining tag team. Where do they go from here?
Yes.
Who do they face? Because tag teams in TNA, you could say WWE, but this is TNA pay-per-view, is declining, and it's not at a place where the tag titles, you can get great matches, but no good follow-ons.
And you raise an interesting point there, NJ, in the sense that TNA don't really have any other tag teams now, so you've got to wonder where the tag teams are coming from. Do you reckon they might do something very similar to last year and have a wild card tournament, maybe?
They're going to need something, because at the minute, this feud is basically over, because they've had their rematch, they've retained, so what comes next? So they need to pair up two wrestlers again, just to keep the tag team alive, and to keep the belts moving on.
This match got an extra quarter of a star, because Kaz and Daniels did Gangnam Style, man. That was awesome. The next match, which wasn't the semi-main event, which really did surprise me, AJ Styles versus Bobby Roode versus James Storm for the #1 contendership. The first thing that struck me about this is throughout the night, they made this seem like a very important match because all three of them got interviews, which was a good addition to this match, saying why they wanted to win. That's a nice way of building up to make what seems like an important match feel special.
They all got their good time explaining how important this match is, why they deserve to win, and it's what they needed, because with the #1 contender, you do expect them to give their piece and obviously make us get behind them before their title match.
Yeah, and AJ Styles hasn't been champion for 3 years. John Cena, take note. You can be the top guy of a company and not have the championship for 3 years. So yeah, we get to the match itself, and You know, these three were all members of Fortune. Bobby Roode and James Storm have good chemistry together. AJ Styles, Bobby Roode and James Storm all have very good chemistry together. And I think this match for me, the reason why it works is because there was a lot of variation. You had the Bobby Roode, James Storm brawling style. You had AJ's high-flying style in there. So you had a lot of variation of different stuff, which really did make this match very good for me. All three had some pretty fucking good chemistry here.
That's very true. Even though Storm and Roode are the ones who had the feud going, the strong feud, AJ did get the power over both men, which I thought was good, because AJ getting back to the title picture, or the normal contendership, shall we say, he did put on a good performance, which you expect. Like we said in many AJ past matches, he can put on good matches against the best. This showed it. Yes, they gave the win to Storm, but I'd say the performance for all three fitted in perfectly to this match.
It was a very good match, especially considering it was a number one contendership match. It was a very good match. We even had a little beer money moment in there where you thought, oh my god, they're going to go back to beer money again. And now, fuck that shit. John wants the fucking title, man.
And the thing is, no matter who was in the ring together, you get the moment of this is going to be a good moment of the show. Like when you had AJ go out the ring, Bobby Roode and James Storm in the ring, fearing that again. Storm and AJ and Roode. There was definitely moments in this that you made me think, perfect match, perfect moment. And the wrestling from all three made this match feel one of the best three of the night.
Definitely so. It was a highlight of the night, in my opinion. Storm pins AJ to get the victory. So AJ Styles is not eligible to have a title shot until Bound for Glory 2013. They did that reaction shot with him, like he was upset. And that's what I like. They actually played on that a little bit, showing how upset he was. And it looks like James Storm is going to be facing the winner of the main event in a face versus face match down at Final Resolution, which should be pretty damn good.
It does feel that way. Yes, I expected Roode to be the one who gets pinned and taken out to rub it in on Roode a bit more, but taking AJ out, who's not had the top 3 years, this is going to be another long time. So to be honest, that's a bit unfair to AJ, but maybe TNA have plans for him upcoming to keep him important.
They may have plans to make him win the Bound for Glory series and win the title that way. That might be a good way of doing it, and that's a good early way of starting off the fact that AJ Styles just can't get that belt title shot, but he wants to get it at Bound for Glory, the biggest pay-per-view of the year. So that was a very good number one contention match in my opinion. Then we get to Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries in the ladder match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Where do we start with this match, MJ? This match had botches, it had bumps, it had brutality, it had broken ladders. This is like the example of like, it can be a botchy match, but it can look brutal and can look real because it's botchy, in my opinion.
That's what I was going to say. As much as there's many people in the YWC that complain about botches, with matches like this, where it's quick pace between two fast movers, high flyers, high movers, you expect there to be botches because they're trying to perfect moves as quick as they can to keep the match at a good pace. And with these two wrestlers, they made the botches work. They'd botch, make up for it, make the match as great as it was.
And the thing about the botches is, because they botched it and it didn't seem choreographed, it felt like they were really, really going through the pain and the motions, and that, which is what made this ladder match really good, in my opinion. It felt like they were really trying to kick each other's asses and hurt each other, which is essentially the best way of drawing heat and drawing money in the business, generally, to be honest.
And the thing you expect when it comes to ladder matches is the high spots. Yeah. But the other thing we got in this match was the amount of ladders they got used because they got broken, unable to be used. They had very good moments in that, but the one we're going to agree with, which was a highlight of this match, was when Jeff was so close to winning, and where was Aries?
Oh, he was too busy hoisting up the ladder. Austin Aries, the greatest man that ever lived, hoists up the belt. So Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy's like, what the fuck happened there? That was the best piss match. Probably the most entertaining thing I've seen ever happen in a ladder match. Austin Aries, you see him with the controls, and he's like, ha 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 ha! That was brilliant, wasn't it?
That's the thing. As well as having the brutality, the botches, as we said, there's also the entertainment, the comedy, which you expect from Aries, while Jeff Hardy's all about entertaining the fans and doing his high-flying moves. This match had so much going for it. It was the right main event for this match, and I just really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, and you kind of expected Hardy to retain here, and it was no surprise to see that he did retain. You had the finish when the Twist of Fate on top of the ladder, on top of the turnbuckle, and then Jeff Hardy goes up and hoists the belts up using the big ladder, which he had to get because Austin Aries had hoisted up the belts another foot or two.
And now I'm hoping they get rid of one of the two belts. Probably that stupid Jeff Hardy when they keep the...
They won't. He's going to keep it.
But this match, again, thank you for giving us this. forget about the botches. This match was worthy of the main event. Jeff Hardy retaining. Jeff Hardy versus Storm. Probably the next pay-per-view. What a good build-up this is going to be.
Yeah, so you've already established your main event for Final Resolution, which is James Storm versus Jeff Hardy. Do you think this match was better than the match at Bound for Glory, or do you think it was the same or worse? Or?
I'm going to say Bound for Glory. This match, not because of the botches in this, I just was more into the match at Bound for Glory.
And I totally agree with you. The match at Bound for Glory, I was more into as well. So was the crowd. I think it's because it was an outside the Impact Zone crowd, but I still give them credit here. It was still a good match. Overall thoughts on this pay-per-view, though, NJ?
I will say they did very good showing video packages for each match, showing the importance why this match is happening, really gave the match the understanding of why it was happening. The matches, I would say, majority early matches, they were there, but they didn't feel great. And it was just, again, like last pay-per-view, the main matches which delivered, saved the pay-per-view and gave us our moments. The Ace and Eights, which I'm expecting still big more things to come from it, like another reveal, the leader, what they're actually going to accomplish by the end. All that's going to come eventually. But this pay-per-view didn't really give us the Ace and Eights feel I was hoping for. The main event, thumbs up. We've got our match for Turning Point, Final Resolution. Yes. And thank you very much.
I'll slap you on the hand again, NJ. That was just an awful botch. But sometimes botching can be entertaining, which is why sometimes we do them and we don't edit them out of the video. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this Turning Point pay-per-view, the Aces and Eights stuff to me was quite disappointing and felt like filler and like it really didn't matter that much on this pay-per-view. There was some quite solid stuff on this card as well. But the main event, the number one contention match, the tag match, even the no DQ match, were all pretty good matches. So now, I'd say it was an okay pay-per-view. I'm not really sure what I'm going to rate it. I'll put all my ratings in the description box below. I'll decide that after we've done this review. But I'd say overall a solid pay-per-view, which I don't think gave us like massive amounts of big moments like, say, a Bound for Glory or a Slammiversary or a Destination X did. But it was still a solid pay-per-view.
Pretty much, that's the feeling it gave. And I'm just saying, this has been a pay-per-view that at first, I was looking forward to. In my opinion, it didn't deliver, but I look forward to what comes next.
Indeed. So that has been our review, the British Fist review, I should say, on TNA Turning Point 2012, featured on tnasylum.com, which will be down in that description box. NJ, would you like to provide us a lovely outro for this video?
So, people, welcome to our Turning Point. No, that was the beginning. Botch.
You're doing an outro.
I'm joking, yes. Yeah. Thank you very much, people. This has been a video from the British Fist, from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ. Thank you very much for watching. Share your thoughts of the pay-per-view in the comment section below. Subscribe above, like this video, and thank you, and goodbye.